What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And today what I got here is the Jumper T8SG version 2.0 Plus. Now I'm going to refer this transmitter as the Jumper Plus from now on, or the Jumper Plus remote. It is the multi-protocol 12-channel transmitter with the non-contact 3D space vector Hall remote sensing gimbals. Yeah, I'm going to refer these gimbals as the Hall Sensor Gimbals from now on as well. Now, it is the upgraded version of the original Jumper remote, and the upgrades include the Hall Sensor Gimbals, of course, and we are also given a 2.4-inch Oled display screen, as well as a couple of more switches on the top. It is the two-position switch, and we are given some side-scrolling wheels on each of the side. Now, it utilizes the same user interface as the original Jumper remote. As you can see, there's the 2 buttons on the left and the 4 directional buttons on the right. And it also uses the same Deviation software as the original Jumper remote as well. Now, we are also given the opportunity to add more modules to this already 4-in-1 multi-protocol module pre-installed remote control. I'm not sure what else you can put on here, but we are given the choice. So you can take this out, and it is the JRFR Sky module bay, in which it'll take the same type of module, external module, kind of like the Tyrannus does, where I use the orange RX module to communicate with the DSM and DSMX on the Tyrannus. Well, you don't need to do that with this transmitter because it already communicates and has the DSMX or DSM protocols already embedded into the software, but we are given that choice. And as usual, we have the headphone jack right here, and we also are given the mini USB connection port for your future software upgrades. And to do upgrades, you will need to go to deviationtx.com, which I'll leave a link down below. And the antenna that we are given is identical to the original Jumper remote, and it is the SMA connectors. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on and check out the new 2.4-inch OLED display screen. To turn it on, down press on the new push button switch, short press it, and it turns it on, and it gives a haptic feedback as well. Now, taking a look at the interface, it is exactly the same as the original Jumper remote, except now we have an OLED display screen, which is pretty cool. Now, it is nice and bright indoors, but I've already taken it out to the field and tested it, and the new OLED screen is very hard to see out in the sunlight or out in the field outdoors. Today we didn't even have sun, and I was having a very hard time making out what it was displaying. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but nevertheless it is a lot bigger than the original Jumper remote. So let me go ahead and bring out the original Jumper remote here and power it on. Remember, we have to push it up on the lever to power it on. So there you have it, the two in comparison. As you can see, it is a lot bigger, and you can see everything. It has the same user interface, the same Deviation software. So when you hit enter, model menu, and then you can scroll down and scroll up, hit it again, and you can go ahead and load up the model. And I already have set up a few models already for testing purposes. So it has the same Deviation software that we have come to love in the original Jumper remote that we couldn't figure out, and we finally kind of almost figured out. But taking a look at both of the transmitters side by side, they're just about the same size, and basically just the looks of it in the front has changed, and of course the color. Now this one here feels really good in the hands, the original Jumper remote, and the reason why is because it also has this little finger grip in the back as well, that little protrusion where you grip with the rest of your fingers that are not in use and leave your usable fingers in the front, and it is very comfortable. And the fact that it is very comfortable as well is because I always like to put my index finger right on the top here, and there's no switches over here, so I can place my index finger anywhere I want right on top. But on the new Jumper Plus remote, I can't really do that because there's a couple of switches, but those are welcome upgrades because now my arming switch is right here, and while I'm flying with my index fingers up here, and when I want to land, all I got to do is just push my index finger down and it disarms the motors, whereas before I used to use this switch here to arm and disarm the motors. So with it armed, I would have to bring my index finger over or land and quickly use my thumb to disarm the motor. So it is a welcome upgrade to have another switch right up here. Now taking a look side by side from the top, almost the same thickness as well, and looking at it next to each other like this, and looking at the bottom battery bay. The battery bay is slightly different as well, so we're going to go ahead and check that out. So the base of it is almost identically the same, and the outer perimeter design is just about the same as well. Now, like I said, this one does not have a grip in the back for your other fingers to grip onto. So it is a little bit on the, I would say, not really uncomfortable side, but it does kind of bother that you don't have nothing to grab with your other fingers that is trying to hold on to the transmitter from behind. So that is one of the things that is missing on this Jumper Plus remote control. So let's go ahead and take a look at the battery bay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. So long pressing it for 3 seconds and then letting go will turn off the remote control, whereas the original one, you just flick it down. Now the original Jumper remote has the battery bay in the back. This is a battery, 2-cell battery that I have it stuck in the back here to use with my 2-watt booster, to power up my 2-watt booster. There's a small little battery bay, slide it open, and I have a 2-cell battery in here, and I do have a Tarantula battery, 1200 milliamp 2-cell battery, and it uses the balance plug to connect to the remote control. So that is fine. All I do when I want to recharge it, just slide off and plug this JST connector to my charger, and there we go, charges it up. And all I got to do is push it back in and cover it back up with the battery bay door, and we are good to go once again. So on the new Jumper Plus remote control, it is slightly different here. So there is no sliding effect. It is a clipped on battery compartment door, which hinges over. It doesn't fall off, so that is nice. You're never going to misplace the battery bay compartment lid. Now I also have a Tarantula battery in here. As you recall, I did a battery modification to the MJX Bugs 3 Mini, utilizing some 1300 milliamp size Tarantula battery upgrades. Well, this is what I had in mind as well, to utilize it for this type of transmitter. Now this battery, I also use the same battery on my Taranis QX7 and Taranis QX7S. So yeah, the Tarantula battery is going a long way. And there's the JST connector, or the balance plug connector, to power up the remote control. And here is the JST connector. Now the battery bay is huge. You can put a lot bigger battery, just about almost double the size of the original Jumper remote. So what I do now is I just open up the lid and plug this into my charger and charge up the battery, and once I'm done, I shove it back in, and from the inside of the battery bay, it is completely enclosed, so you don't see much of circuitry like the older Jumper remote, original Jumper remote. So when you're done, just close it back up and you are good to go. All right, so let's take a look at what else you get in the box with the Jumper Plus remote. You get this battery case where you can put 4 1.5 volt batteries, rechargeable if you like, or you can use off-the-shelf type alkaline batteries, and there's the balance connector. And this came inside of the battery bay. Originally, I took it out and I'm using my Tarantula battery to power up the remote control. So it is nice of them to include something like this as well. Now we also have the neck strap, the original, bright orange jumper neck strap. And we also get this quick start guide. As you can see here, it says Jumper T8SG and T8SG Plus quick start guide, and it goes on to show you what not to do. And here's a diagram of all of the buttons and controls, and it kind of briefly shows you how to go about selecting a new model and what the display looks like and such, but it does not go into detail, kind of like the original Jumper remote came with this Deviation user manual for the Jumper T8SG. Now, because of the fact that we don't get this booklet, you can go online and download the PDF version of this booklet. I'll leave a link down below. So they're saving on paper, so that is a good thing. Now, this booklet is pretty nice actually, because you can carry it with you just in case out to the field and, you know, reference back to what it is. And it also gives you all of the protocols and what they do and serve. So it was a nice little booklet, but you can do the same with the PDF file. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what the differences are between the Jumper remote and the Jumper Plus remote. Now, there is another remote control by Jumper that is right in between these two. It looks just like this one here, and it is called the Jumper upgraded version, version 2, but it does not come with the Hall Sensor Gimbals nor the Oled display screen. So let's go ahead and check it out. I have a little paper describing the three here. So we have the original Jumper T8SG, then we have the T8SG version 2, and now we have the T8SG version 2 Plus, which I have here today. Now all of them have the same 4-in-1 module and such, so you have all the check marks for those. And the ones that are missing on the original Jumper are some of these features here, which are the top switches. So there's 12 channels, and you got two up top switch, the 2 position switch, as well as the side scrolling wheels on these. And we also have the rear JRFI Sky module bay, and we are also able to upgrade to a sound module as well on the new versions. Now, so we have the gimbals over here, and the original one just has the standard gimbal, and the upgraded version, the version 2, has the upgraded gimbals. Now, I don't know how those feel like, but I do know how these Hall Sensor gimbals feel like, and they feel very, very smooth. And when you are moving it around, you feel like you're moving butter just about. It does not have that much resistance. You are able to take the back cover off and adjust the resistance to your liking, the spring resistance. But for me, the settings that come out of the box is just awesome, and I was able to fly it with no problem. Now, the original one is smooth as well, but it's not the greatest. But I was getting very used to it, and I'm very fond of this transmitter as well. So this upgraded Hall Sensor Gimbals are a welcome plus. Now let's go ahead and revisit this paper here, and we got the maximum channels. We got 10 channels on the original and 12 and 12 on the new version. And as you can see, we got the LCD screen, 1.7 inch. The upgraded version has the same LCD screen, and this OLED screen is 2.42 inches, and it has the same pixel density. So let's check out the price. So the original one costs now, it is $89. I just checked. When it first came out, I think it was around $69, and it rose up to about $76 or something like that. But now it is offered at $89. The upgraded version 2, $119, and the Jumper Plus remote is coming in at $139. All right, so I have a few quadcopters out here already bound to the new Jumper Plus remote control. As you can see, I have the first model set to AFHDS 2A protocol, and that would be my launchy Bluebird with the FlySky receiver. And on the second model, which is lit up, it is the FrSky protocol. That would be the D8 protocol for FrSky, and I'm using the Mantis 85, the 2-inch brushless micro quadcopter with the FrSky D8 receiver. And on the third model, I have the FrSky X, which is the D16 protocol, and I have the B-Fight 210 with the FrSky XSR receiver. So let's go out to the field and fly all three of these different quadcopters with just one remote. All right, we got the launchy Bluebird ready to go first, and the Jumper Plus remote. Now everything is bound. I got it connected. I have noticed one thing though. Out here in the field, this display is very hard to see. Now indoors it was super bright, but out here in the field, yeah, it is very, very hard to see. Anyways, let's go ahead and check it out. So let's go ahead and arm it, and there you go. The AFHDS 2A protocol is working just fine. And this little launchy Bluebird has got some power to it too. Look at that. Look at the pitch. All right, let's bring it in. There you go. Gotta fly this thing with some FPV too. Let's go ahead and bring it in. There you go, the AFHDS 2A with the Jumper Plus. Okay, next up is the Mantis 85. I've got it connected under the FrSky protocol. So let's go and check it out. Okay. There we go. Had the throttle slightly up so it didn't want to bind. Yep. The FrSky D8 receiver protocol is working just fine. And this little Mantis 85, yeah, this thing is a screamer too, with 2S. And this Jumper Plus feels really good in the hands. Very comfortable. Yeah, and it's responding really well too. And these gimbals are just awesome. Very smooth. Wow, very, very smooth. It's like butter. Wow. I think this is a well worth investment. If you guys are looking into getting one of these multi-protocol units that can bind with just about anything here. So let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing. All right, nice. That's the flight with the Mantis 85, the FrSky D8 receiver protocol with the Jumper Plus. All right, now we have the FrSky X protocol B-Fight 210 with the XSR receiver. We are already bound. I just turned it on. There's no ifs and buts about it. So let's see if it arms. All right, so let's go ahead and check this one out too. Yep, one remote to fly just about anything that is out there. Wow. So this is the FrSky X protocol with the D16 receiver. and I'm using the XSR receiver on the V2.0. Very nice. And I gotta say one more time, these gimbals are just so smooth. Oops, somebody's walking right here. Nice. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna bring it in for a landing. And maybe try my hands at some FPV flying with one of these guys here. Let's see if I can land it back on the table. There you go. That is our flight with the FrSky X protocol with the V2.0. Alright, so that is my review and flight test with the new Jumper T8SG version 2.0 Plus, or the Jumper Plus remote, the multi-protocol 12-channel transmitter with Hall Sensor Gimbals. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.
Creative imagination began with a new art form.